Afternoon, everybody.
Hi Mick, your first training session under your belt now, how was it?
Better ask the lads. I enjoyed it, it was alright. It's just getting them going this morning. Generally they're on the second day of recovery on Monday morning now. Players have just played lots of games, so it really was just getting them outside and me start doing something as well. But it was fine, it was good, I enjoyed it.
You met up last night with most of them. Have you sort of had a sit-down meeting of where you want them to go, what you want to do yet, or is that for later?
It's later, really, because we've still got who are not in. Shane Duffy didn't get in. Conor Hourahan didn't get in. There's 5 of them missing, just off the top of my head. There's no point sitting down speaking to some of them when the rest of them aren't here. So, not really, not yet. No. It should all be in this evening, hopefully.
Shane Duffy's had a remarkable weekend, hasn't he? Through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup and Ireland Player of the Year as well. Yeah, I mean, wow. I can't imagine at 90 minutes he thought he was going to be in the semi-final of the FA Cup, that's for sure. But it's great for him, and I think he deserved the award. He played well last season, certainly. We saw Seamus Coleman by the side of the pitch. Is he okay? He's fine. He just trained. I was just saying, we're coming to 8 games left in the Championship. They're right at the last knockings of it. In the Premier League, they've played all the games. So he was never going to train the day after playing. And equally, the lads who played on Saturday, they're only doing minimal today. We just want them right for Saturday, for this Saturday. It's not really what bothered what they did today. That's why some of them sat out. And will Seamus be your captain on Saturday? If he plays. Do you have your team in your head at the moment who you'd like to select? I'd like to have them all in first and see them, but yeah, pretty much. I've got a good idea. But until they've all been out on the grass, all trained, Richard Keogh's he'll have a cast on his hand, so it's not really possible yet to see. Conor should be coming in. Of course, his wife's had a baby, so I'm hoping he'll be in tonight, Conor Hourahan. So until I get them all out, I won't really know. But I've got an idea, of course. Excuse me. Thank you.
Mick, how are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Good, thanks. Just to clarify, so just in terms of injury updates, is no one who's a slight doubt for this game at the weekend, or is there anyone that's kind of question mark over?
No, shouldn't be. Not the lads who are in, no. I say Richard Keogh's got his hand in a cast, and he will have it, but I'm sure it'll be passed by the authorities so he can play. It'll be something he can play in. No, nobody. No. It's a shame he didn't sit out for any other reason. He played yesterday. Yeah, they're all okay.
Your campaign starts off the back of a pretty bad year for Irish football last year. 1 win and 9, I think. Well, what needs to change, do you think, to avoid a run like that this time?
We have to get the lads at it and play as well as we possibly can and make sure that we play as well as we can. That's it. It's got to be about us, I think, and I'll be doing my damnedest to make sure that's not the case, and I'm sure the lads will. They're all coming. They're all proud of being in here and wanting to do well, and I doubt they'll be happy with that record. I didn't know that record. I didn't look back on what's gone on. I'm kind of looking forward to that and not considering what went on before me.
Are you concerned at all by that record, or is it something now you just want to move on with? Or
I'm not concerned at all. It's I'm hoping I can change that. That's what I'm going to do here myself. TC, Robbie and the lads can change it and make sure that record's better.
You're not concerned that there might be a carryover of negativity from that campaign?
Do you know something? I never even considered it. So it's only yourself who's mentioning the negativity. I mean,
I never thought about it at all. It's got nothing to that's got nothing to do with me. That what happened before. It's up to me to get positive results and have people smiling again. Let's hope I can do that. But what went on before me is not my problem and not my responsibility, and nothing to do. It's my responsibility to change that.
Cheers, Mick.
Thank you.
Mick, I suppose you've been a big legendary figure in Irish football. You got Ireland to a World Cup and achieved some great things. Are some of the players that you've got in the squad now, do you think they kind of maybe react to that, you get a good response because of that?
I'd like to think I get a good response from people because I've had nearly 1,000 games as a manager, as a coach, and how I guess interact with the players, and hopefully I get the respect because of that. Because not because I've what I've done here. Last time I was here was 17 years ago, so. But I would think some of them might remember me playing. I don't know. Or managing even. They might playing. None of them remember me playing. They might have seen it on an 8-track or something. Or I don't know.
Obviously Gibraltar are going to be regarded as minnows in this particular group, Mick. Does that change the approach for your game plan, your team selection, or is this like just ideal preparation for everything that's going to come afterwards? I don't know. I understand you have to give every international team respect and that kind of thing, but
absolutely we do. It would be remiss of me if I didn't. I've never ever done it at any level that I've played at. Treated somebody with disrespect, and I certainly won't be doing it on Saturday. It's we go back to the last question about a record that's not being good. We can only change that by winning games, and that means playing the best team, playing as well as we possibly can, and making sure we get the points.
How big a player do you think David McGoldrick could be for this Irish team? I know he's gone through a bit of a dry patch of late with his club. He scored against Brentford, but I think he had 9 games without a goal before that. So, but do you think he could be a big figurehead in this team, in your team?
Yeah, David's a very good player, very good technical player. He's not had the best of times, I don't think, here. I think he was slightly blighted by injury because he had a few hamstring problems and he missed a few camps. He's had a good season this year, and to be fair to Chris, I think he rotates his strikers except Billy Sharp because he's been the best of them. He's had a really good season, so hopefully we'll see the best of him as well with Ireland.
If I could just ask you as well about Shane Duffy. You know, we've seen with Brighton he can be pretty potent with set pieces. Is that something you think you could use as well with regards to qualifiers?
Of course, yes. He's a real threat from free kicks and from corners, and why wouldn't we? You know, because I look at an England team that was much lauded in the World Cup, and they pretty much got through to the semi-finals on free kicks and corners, and it's important both one to score from and the other one to defend them. So yes, we would think that.
Hi Mick, you've been at plenty of League of Ireland games since you've come into the job, and Jack Byrne's obviously been called into the squad. Have you maybe more confidence in League of Ireland players being able to step up into your squad than maybe before?
Well, before was 17 years ago, and it was pretty much semi-pro or amateur, I think, not full-time as they are now. I go and look at the players. I go and watch the games, and I saw him. He was outstanding there the other night. I think he'll have, harder time opposition. But even in training this morning, you can see he's more than capable of mixing it with the lads there. So I guess if I'd have seen him the last time and he'd have played like that, I'd have had confidence in him then. But I didn't see anybody like that. So I guess that's the benefit of going to watch the games. It was excellent performance Friday night.
So you said there you enjoyed your first training session back. You obviously have to hit the ground running. There's no big build-up that you're straight into a qualifier. There's no friendly. So is there a bit of pressure that you're trying to get everything out of the minutes that you have with the players on the pitch?
That's not a pressure. They've all played so many games this season. And I guess I'm not going to be teaching them how to play football. I think all I can do is give them a template of what I want to do in the games and how we should play and how we can maximise what we have got to try and get the best possible results. And I think we can do that in the time that we've got.
Sorry, quick one. Sean Maguire didn't seem to train this morning either. Did he set out for similar reason to Seamus?
Yeah, the clubs have different health fitness protocols, and as you know, he's missed a lot of games through hamstring strains, tears, pulls, whatever they are. And his schedule at the club would be exactly what we're giving him. So I'm cool. Whatever they do to get them out on the pitch on Saturday is what we will do. And he doesn't train on Monday. He played train Tuesday, Wednesday. I think he has Thursday off. And that's only for a short time so he can get the best out of him in games. And whatever Preston do, they've got him playing well, they've got him scoring. I will adhere to whatever they want.
Yeah. And just from a personal point of view, you're back after, like you said, 17 years. How's it, from a personal point of view, to be back in the training pitch with an Ireland tracksuit on?
I've loved it. Yeah, I loved the atmosphere, the crack with the lads, the banter that they're all having, the little boxes, the warm-ups, and getting back and just being at close quarters with players, and I enjoy their company. I enjoy being with them. I enjoy watching them and interacting with them. It's great. So I've enjoyed my morning.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Mick, going back slightly further, it's 20 years since you sent an Ireland team into a European Championship qualifier. How many times over the years has that night in Macedonia come back to your mind?
I was going to be quite offensive to you then, because it's only when people bring it up. I was going to say something other than people. You see,
Long enough for you to say it, Mick.
I know, but I wouldn't do it to you. Well, you all know we all had the shirt with "I've had a Macedonia" on, and but you know what? Since then, I've had a few good results as well. So I think it's probably remiss of you to remind me of a night like that when I've had pretty much more nights since there've been positive ones. I won the championship twice, and nobody ever mentions that. I've been in the Premier League and had a pretty good time since. Oh, we qualified for the World Cup as well since that as well. So. But thanks for reminding me of one of my worst nights.
I know you hate bad results.
I do. I've had some since that as well, by the way, that have particularly upset me as well.
Mick, first time around, you had a young generation of players coming through from the backbone of the Ireland team for years. Robbie and Shane, people like that. Do you see young lads here who have the potential to go on and do that sort of thing?
I see players here that I've got to get the best out of. That, let's start with these. I've not been. I mean, even last night I'm listening to Stephen talk about the 21s team. They are 18, 17, Troy Parrott is 17, is he still, and he's in the squad, or would be in the squad, but he's injured. He's having to look at the younger players. So there's hardly a glut of 21s that are pushing to get in the team. The two other players I've just picked, Josh Cullen, who played really well for Charlton, and Jack, that had a great game on Friday night. Let's hope they can add something to the squad. I'm sure they can. They've certainly not looked out of place.
Mick, just in terms of looking ahead to the two games, I appreciate you'll take them kind of one game at a time. But over the course of the 10 games, if you're looking at games targeting that you can, you see yourselves winning, do you have to take 6 points from these games on Friday and on Tuesday?
I'll concentrate, as you said, because everything that comes after but is nonsense. So, but I will be concentrating on Saturday. I think that's important first, to go there and, we've got to make sure that we win and have a good start. And then we can concentrate on the next game. Georgia are a good side. I've been watching them. They play really good football. They've been together for quite a long time as well and have some real technical players. Coaches the same, the system's the same. I think they're. When I watched them the last time in the groups, I've always been impressed by them. So
let's concentrate on Saturday and see where we get there first.
And there's a quote that's come out over the weekend from John Anderson saying that the way the team plays might not potentially be pretty, but it'll get results. Does your style of how the team plays, does it matter? Does it matter what other people say about how Ireland play as long as they're winning games?
Well, I've never been sacked for winning games, that's for sure. Like I said to you, it's. I have no complaints about it at all, but we've got the lads in here on Monday, and we're playing on Saturday. Don't think there can be I wonder how long the managers who are going to clubs get, and they have a pre-season and they set their stall out and they're going to play a certain way. Now we're going to play a bit more attractive and a bit more expansive. I reckon it's my job to get results, and however they would come. And if I get enough of good results, and we're in the European Championships in 2020, and we've got the games here, that's got to be my remit. And I can't ever remember. I'm sure we played some scruffy, scrappy times back the last time I was here. But honestly, I never ever heard any complaints when we'd won a game. I generally heard the fans cheering and enjoying it. And certainly, if you get to the competitions, everybody seems to be happy. And when you're winning games, people tend to think you're playing better football than you are, to be quite honest.
Lovely, thanks, Mick.
Pleasure.
Mick, just first of all, just wanted to ask you quickly about Josh Cullen. He looked very neat and tidy, very much at ease in that company of the few minutes we saw of him out there today. Did he catch the eye since the 38-man squad was named, or is he just in the pecking order behind these other players?
Since I'd seen him play at Bolton some years ago against Sheffield United, I know he's out there on loan. He played a dozen games, I think. Didn't catch my eye particularly. He was neat and tidy, but didn't stand out, so we knew about him. He gone to Charlton. I saw him play against Portsmouth. I thought he was very good. Played in a position that suited him at the base of a diamond. Got a lot of the ball. So I went to watch him on the Tuesday night then against Burton, and he was excellent. Played really well. Good in possession, and good out of possession as well. He put his foot in. He defended well as well, which I think was something somebody had said to me. But he's not the best out of possession. I thought he did really well. He just impressed me.
Good. And just obviously you speak about limited time with the players this week.
That by the way is not a complaint. That is an observation.
It's standard, I think, with every international manager. I'm just wondering, trying to get a gauge of, do you have to work, like, I know you're not talking specifically about the Georgia game, but do you need to work with players in groups in this week before you go to Gibraltar? With that game in mind, will players have an idea of, I'm going to be used on Saturday, or he's keeping me for Tuesday, or are you going to keep them sort of guessing, I suppose?
It's turned out to be a long question, that. I get the question. There's certainly two different teams that we'll be playing against, in the way they play, and maybe at the standard that they are. But the first one is for us to concentrate on Gibraltar, as I said, because they will be making it as difficult as they possibly can for us. I can imagine how they're preparing, and if everybody's telling them, as it appears to me to be in here, that they're supposedly the underdog, it's a great tag to have that at times when you've got the supposedly superior team coming to play you. They'll be ready and waiting. So it's important that we concentrate on that. And all the players that I've got have all played, I guess, different systems. If I wanted to change the way we played against Georgia, to opposed to playing differently against Gibraltar. So I've no worries about that at all. They're all deep into a season. But I take your point. It's two different games, but we've got to take care of Gibraltar first.
And just as a general rule of what we can expect, are you more inclined to name your team as late as possible, or will we have an idea of it before, a few hours before, a day before?
You won't have it the day before, no. Unless somebody tells you it. It won't be me. No, you get it on the day of the game. I mean,
normally what we do, even at league level, it's an hour before kick-off the team goes in.
And just as the players, I suppose, I was gauging, will they know more in advance of a couple of hours, or will they, how do you go about that?
They'll know the team, pretty early.
Just a quick one, Mick. A couple of the big players in the squad, like the big names who would have been first choices under the previous management, who maybe not getting into their clubs teams at the moment, does that have their chance of getting selected by you in your first team, or do you judge them by that past reputation, and if they're doing it maybe on the training pitch, you're happy with what you see, that might give them a hand in getting into the team?
If they're not playing at all, it makes it pretty difficult. I've got James McCarthy who's training, and he's been on the bench at Everton, but he's not played a minute for a long time, so that obviously hampered his chances of being in the squad. If they're not playing at all, then it does make it difficult. But certain players come, I guess, with a reputation playing with Ireland. It might be good, bad, or indifferent. I'll judge it on what I've seen this year and how they're playing and how they're playing for the clubs, of course.
All good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. There we go. See you guys. Ta-ra.
Cheers.
Smart being in the second.